Now let's find the other one. Well, the rules are going to be the same. We're going to go second trace, but instead of number 3, I think number 4, let me check it before I do it. Second, calculate maximum, 4. And I don't even know if I hit enter. Let's see. Number 4 will be maximum. And then we're going to go through our steps. So it says go to the left of your point. Now, where am I trying to find? I'm trying to find this one up here. I need to go to the left of it, and I need to get away from this one. I don't want to get where my other turn is. So I'm just going to go a little bit to the right. I am to the left, left bound, as long as I'm to the left of my point. So I'm going to hit enter. See, there's my point I want, and there's my left bound. See, my arrow's pointing this way, and I didn't even mention the other arrow a while ago. Now it says right bound. So I need to go to the right side of my point. Anywhere over here. I mean, I can go further. There's no reason to go off the screen. There's no reason other than I just need to be to the right of it. So I'm going to go to the right. I'm not looking at these numbers. I'm just looking visually and see that I am to the right of it, and I hit enter. The point you're looking for doesn't have to be in the middle, but it has to be between these two dotted lines, these two arrows. You want to guess, so you hit enter. And it tells me that the maximum is 2. Now, let's talk about that number. Your calculator may have given you exactly 2, 2. And so the second one was 2, 2. And we'll go back and fill in our information here in just a second. And here it's 2.0000. Well, what happens here when you have lots of zeros, it's not rounding. And I know that's so hard to explain, even not being in person. It's just hard for people to grasp it, and we'll address that a little bit more. But when you have lots of zeros, it's not rounding. It's just that the calculator, a little bit with the pixels, will give me exactly 2, 2. I'll actually show you that when we do it here in just a second. So this 0 will make that stay the same. It's exactly 2. Now, if it had given me 2.01575, that would be rounding, but it's when you have lots of zeros that this is actually 2, 2. If I hit trace and type 2, see, it gives me exactly 2. It's not rounded, so you have to recognize that, and I'll kind of show you that when we get to the others. So our maximum was 2, 2, and our minimum was 0, -2, and those were exact. And we're going to plot those in just a minute. Now we need to know what these 3 numbers are. And we know one of them. One of the real zeros is 1, 0. We need to calculate, we know this one. We need to know that one and that one. Now, in this step, same way, to find zeros. Now, actually, I want you to notice that it says 0, one at a time, singular. To find a 0, you're going to go second, trace, which is calculate. And I think it was number 2. Second calc, number 2, which is 0. And did we hit enter? I don't think I did. That one I'll have to check. Let me just do it again. Graph, second calc, 0. No, I actually don't have to hit enter there. It went straight to it. So that is probably not enter up here. And so now, again, we're going to go to left of the point, enter. Go to right of point, enter. Guess, enter, and it will give you the ordered pair. Now, very likely these are irrational. Since this other one was rational, I figured these are irrational, and we are going to have to round. There shouldn't be anything with crazy zeros in this one. So, which one do we want to do first? I think I'm going to, well, I'm close right here to this one, so let's go ahead and do this one. So I need to find at this point, I need to be the left of it, and I am. See, if I stay right here, anywhere over here, as long as I'm to the left side of my point, you can put your pencil right there, and you got to be on the left side of it. And I'm going to hit enter. And then I want to go to the right of it, and so I'm just going to arrow to the right. And as long as I get past the point, I'm going to be to the right of it. And your point should be between these two lines. And it is. And if it isn't, it'll say no sign change. And that's the way the program works, because it's looking for when this graph is going to cross this x-axis. These are positive y's, these are negative y's. And that's why it's going to say that if you didn't do it. Guessed, it did guess. And we hit enter, and it gives me my answer. Now let's talk about that second one again. Now we know a 0 is exactly where the line crosses the x-axis. So I was a little bit... probably a little bit ahead on what I just said a while ago, that you wouldn't have to do rounding. Okay, that's going to be, there's not a lot of zeros to it. We are going to have to round. It's about 2.7. The 3 makes the 7 stay the same. Now again, what is this? That's -1 times 10 to the -12. That means I'm going to take this decimal and move it 11 places this way. So it's going to be negative 0.0000. It's going to be 11 zeros and then a -1. If, and my negative's out here. So if I've got lots of zeros, this is exactly 0. But it is a 0, remember? It's on the x-axis. X-intercepts are where your y is 0. You can check it. I can actually, well, now this one's harder to check because that's not exact. Because if I just type 2.7, see, it's not going to give me exactly 0. What did I have? 2.73. I should get closer to it. But it's not going to be, when this is not exact, I can't hit it other than knowing it gave me the exact 0. We rounded it because it was a 0. So we have found one of the zeros. We actually found the second one, 2.70. And that was approximate. This one was exact. And then the third one. And this one could have been done by synthetic division. Just a little more work that wasn't necessary in this case. And then the third one's going to be over here. So if you want to hit 0 before you do it, let's see. I don't have to go over there before I do it. I can just do second, calc, 0. It will only do one at a time. Go to the left of it. Go to the right of it. Anywhere to the right. Make sure your point, enter. Make sure your point you're looking for is between these two arrows, these two dotted lines. Enter, enter. And it gives me, see, this time it gave me 0. It's really weird. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. And the other one is -0 point. The 3 is going to make the 7 the same, and 0. And that's my third one. Now, we've got everything we need to graph it. I think we've stated everything too. So take one of your little grids that you had. And I know I will go, you know, I want this to fit on here, but I'm going to use the data from this to really do it. But I know it's not going to go further than negative, let's see, -0.7, and it's not going to go further than 2.7. So if I do here, I'll have 1, 2, 3. That's plenty. I'll have -1, which is plenty. And the highest it's going to go is 2, 2. So if I can find my straight edge, I can never keep up with it. Okay, I'll just use this piece of paper. Then I'm going to draw my x-axis about like this. Excuse me, y-axis. And I think I'm going to draw my x-axis about right here. Now, you can plot what you want to first. It doesn't matter. I'm going to actually do my zeros first. So I had one at 1, 0. I had one at 2.7. And I had one at -0.7. Now, why did I put a 3 there? I have no idea. 0. And it came down, it went back up, and it came back down. Now, the minimum and maximum are not like the vertex. It's not going to necessarily be exactly between them. It's not like the average of these. So the minimum is at 0, -2. You can see that. It's not exactly between them. And the maximum is at 2, 2. Now, it's just a sketch. You're just coming down, And actually, I think I've got it. Nope, that's right. Now, what made this go up, down, is that it had a negative leading negative. It had an A of -1, which put the graph opening, starting up, and then ending up down. Lowest point relative to that area, highest point relative to that area, and then the three approximate. This one's exact. These two were approximate. And we'll glue that in, and we'll finish it. I think I'll just wait and glue that in later, so I can go ahead and do number 2. Okay, let me see if I can find my other little piece of graph paper, so I'll have it when I'm ready to start. Yes, I do right here. Okay, number 2. We're going to do f of x, and I don't know if I did f of x or y equals as your classwork. I don't remember. X to the 4th minus x cubed minus 3x squared plus 1. Okay, now what's our list? Maximum number of turns, max turns, we'll just abbreviate, equals 3. 4 minus 1, I tell you what, let's write that. 4 minus 1 equals 3. Minima, maxima, total zeros, and it has 4. We've always called them solutions. It has 4. That's always your degree. And then under here, let's talk about the number of real, the number of imaginary. And we're not going to list the imaginary. We're not going to do the arithmetic, because when you start approximating, you're not going to list those. And then we'll just list the number of real. We can probably do it like that. And then we want the end behavior. And it should be, if it's 4th, it looks like a W, and it's positive, it should be up, up. And what else do we have? And I'm not sure I even asked for that in the classwork. And then we have the y-intercept, which is equal to, oh, by the way, if you remember, y-intercept is when your x is 0. And if we had gone to this one over here, if you put 0 in for x, 0, 0, -2, your constant was your y-intercept. So in this case, my y-intercept is going to be 1. And what else do I need? I've got the number of real zeros, the number of imaginary, and then we're going to list the real zeros, and I think that's everything. Okay, so let's graph it. I cannot keep up with my graph paper. Oh, there we go. Okay, looks pretty good. Not exactly sure what's going on right here, and I did that on purpose to show you another feature that we can do. Now we know our y-intercept is 0, 1, and notice that is our relative maxima there. That's going to actually be that. So I'm going to go ahead and list that.